KBC Channel 1 continues to bring you the exciting Football Kenya Federation Premier League, with 2 matches being aired live each weekend. This Saturday, Kenya Police battles Shabana, while Posta Rangers will take on Ulinzi Stars. Watch this double-header from Police Circle Stadium, kicking off at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Na alipoingia darasani, wanafunzi wenzake walimsimanga huku wakimcheka kana kwamba hawangecheka kesho.
Watoto ambao wana wazazi wanaotumia dawa za kulevya na walio katika hali mahututi hospitalini hawawezi kuwategemea wazazi wao kupata ushauri.
Mfalme anapotembea anakutana na binti mrembo mtoto show, ngozi laini kama samli ya mbuzi. Anashangaa.
Lakini kwa sasa mtazamaji, baada ya kusoma sana
baby to spend it, passion ye mafupi no daddy uko nishike uko
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter. Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow.
We are the full package.
Oh yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Ni yangu, ni yako, misitu na wanyama pori ni wetu. Tutunze ardhi yetu, tutunze ndege wetu na bahari zetu. Ungana na KWS, tunza mali yako. Jione mbuga zetu na urithi wetu.
It was a case of hiding in plain sight for one Kang'ethe, who is a fugitive of the law and wanted in the U.S. The police nabbed him in Ngong, where he was seeking refuge. You have details lined up for you, including the latest from Parliament, where it appears like the debate over CDF just won't end, with MPs accusing the executive of delaying the disbursement of that fund. We have details lined up for you tonight. But of course, as we stay on Parliament, our conversation tonight will border on allegations made by the opposition that Parliament is now fully an appendage of the executive or takes instructions from the executive, and will be engaging the Honorable Dido Uraso, the Member of Parliament for Saku, on that conversation. But first things first, here are tonight's highlights. Tone down the rhetoric. President William Ruto challenges leaders to shelve their 2027 ambitions and work towards achieving their campaign promises. Lent and love. Catholic faithful gather to mark Ash Wednesday as lovers celebrate Valentine's. And nowhere to run. Fugitive Kevin Kinyanjui is back behind bars after days of being on the run. And Wangeshi is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Curia. You're very much welcome to the broadcast. And President William Ruto is challenging Mount Kenya leaders to tone down the succession politics and help the Kenya Kwanza government fulfill its development agenda. Speaking after launching various development projects in Lari, Kiambu County, the president said the country's economy was on the recovery trajectory and the hard decisions he undertook were now bearing fruit, as Giverson Minor reports.
President William Ruto on Wednesday embarked on a development tour of the Mount Kenya region. His first stop was in Lari, Kiambu County, where he launched Uplands Kijabe Maimahi Road that will link with the Mau Mau Road and Lari Market before heading to Murang'a County.
Hizi barabara zenu zote za Mau Mau. Sasa nimepanga, nilikuwa China mwaka uliopita. Nimekubaliana na rais wa kule, nimekubaliana na waegezaji wengine, na sasa tuko na pesa ya kukamilisha hizi barabara, ndio nimekuja kusema hapa leo Lari.
The president, accompanied by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, urging leaders to work together for the sake of those who elected them and stop the rivalries.
Kwa hivyo governor, pesa nimeleta, tukiwa na rais, fanyia hawa wananchi kazi. Watu lazima wafanyiwe kazi.
Mimi ndio nitapinga gavana wa Matangi hapa Kiambu County.
Mambo ya siasa, tutulize mambo ya siasa jameni. Kwanza tufanye kazi ya hawa wananchi. Mambo ya siasa ya 2027 tuachane nayo.
The president said the hard choices he made when he took over office were giving tangible results and that the economy was gradually stabilizing as the country is in the right path to honor its obligation to pay the Eurobond debt.
Jana sasa tumepata shilingi karibu bilioni 250 ya kulipa madeni ya Kenya. Hiyo madeni ilikuwa inatusumbua. Tumekalia kwa mwaka mmoja, tumeweka mpango ya sawasawa na Kenya haitateseka tena kwa mambo ya madeni, tutapanga mambo yetu vizuri.
Sasa mwaka mmoja rais ameng'ang'ana na madeni, amefaulu, amerudi kwa kiwanja, sasa rais ako kazini na hii barabara yote itafanyiwa kazi.
The head of state vowed to fully implement the affordable housing program and promised to facilitate job creations both locally and abroad to address unemployment challenges.
Report ya public participation inakuwa table kwa bunge na kuanzia kesho alasiri tutapitisha mswada mpya wa affordable housing bill.
The president directed junior secondary schools to admit students free of charge, saying the government has released their tuition fee.
Kama kuna mtoto wako nyumbani ati hajaenda shuleni kwa sababu ya CBC, mimi nasema huyo mtoto aende shuleni kesho bila ya kuulizwa pesa, watoto waende wasome shuleni.
As he embarked on a development tour in Kiambu, Murang'a and other counties in the larger Mount Kenya region, President William Ruto has warned political leaders to shun succession politics and instead focus on service delivery. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition in Lari, Kiambu County.
And now a Baringo County Assembly member and two others will spend the night in police custody after being arrested for staging demonstrations against escalating banditry in the county. The demonstrations organized by the Kenya National Union of Teachers and Kenya Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET saw teachers and residents march to the streets of Kabarnet town to protest the killing of a school head teacher on Saturday last week. Thomas Kibet, a head teacher at Kagir Primary School in Baringo North, was killed early Saturday morning by bandits. Wednesday, teachers and residents marched to the streets of Kabarnet town, protesting the escalating incidents or calling for swift government action. As demonstrators attempted entry into the county commissioner's office, police lobbed tear gas to disperse the angry demonstrators who are accusing the county security team of laxity.
From what we've seen, it is no longer banditry. Actually, it is terrorism. Yes. So we want to ask the president to really come forward and fight this thing once and for all.
I want to ask and I want to plead to our president. Yes. Baringo County, I included, we voted you for only one reason. Yes. To give us peace, to give us security, for guns to be silent.
Yes. There is no development that will happen in Baringo. There is no road that we can use because we are short. There is no house we can live even if you build them. The first initiative that the government of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, whom we voted to the man in the election, is to bring peace in Baringo.
We've lost the fathers. We've lost the mothers. We've lost the children, we've lost the teachers, and we've lost quite a number of people. They should be compensated.
Following the confrontations, police arrested Barwesa MCA Josephat Lokorio and 2 others for participating in the demos. And as police battled demonstrators in Baringo North, there was yet another demonstration, this time in the neighboring Baringo South, as residents called on the government to demonstrate seriousness in handling banditry. 9 people have lost their lives in Baringo North at the hands of bandits in January. And from Parliament, the Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir and the Director General of the Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority, Daniel Kiptoo, have been summoned to appear before the Senate to shed light on the Embakasi gas explosion that led to the death of 7 people and the injury of 300 others. However, the 2 were a no-show, with the Energy CS stating that he was out of the country through a letter submitted to the committee. And as Abdiaziz Hashim reports now, the CS and the EPRA DG are expected to appear before the committee next week on Tuesday or risk being fined 500,000 shillings each.
With victims of the Embakasi gas explosion still coming to terms with the February 1st incident, many want answers as to who allowed the LPG plant to be set up in an estate. Wednesday morning, members of the Senate Energy Committee were seeking those answers from the relevant ministry. However, Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir and the Director General of the Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority, Daniel Kiptoo, were a no-show, a move that did not sit well with the committee members.
When urgent matters touching on the lives and livelihoods of the people of this republic, and specifically the people of Nairobi, that a cabinet secretary would write to this committee only hours before the meeting to tell us that he has traveled.
The parliamentary business takes precedence over any other business. And that is what I know, and that has been the practice in this parliament.
Mr. Chairman, I'm so disappointed. People have died. Kenyans need answers. And you know, just taking to court a few people here and then giving them bond, it doesn't answer the question.
A photo of a young man, 14-year-old, who passed on yesterday. If you look at those 2 photos, Chair, the bodies haven't been removed from different hospitals, released from different hospitals.
The committee led by Nyeri Senator Wahome Wamatinga ruled that the CS, his principal secretary, and the EPRA DG to appear before them next week or risk being fined.
The Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Davis Chirchir, EGH, is currently out of the country on official state duty, and as such will not be able to appear before the committee on the stated date. The purpose of this letter is therefore to convey the apology of the Cabinet Secretary.
I therefore think that we should just go ahead and use the powers vested in us to summon the CS, the Director General of EPLA, and the PS, and most importantly,
find out which other installations are in residential areas within the country, so that we try to see how we can avoid an occurrence of such incidents in any other part of the country.
Moreover, the National Assembly's Energy Committee has summoned EPRA DG Daniel Kiptor to appear before it on Thursday to shed light on the same. Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Nanzushi ordered that the suspect Isaac Kipchirchir to be detained for 2 more weeks at Embakasi Police Station pending the completion of investigation. Already 4 other people, including Embakasi gas plant owner Derek Kimathi, have been detained for 21 days pending investigations. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Still in the corridors of Parliament, the President's advisor on national security, Monica Juma, has differed with Attorney General Justin Muturi regarding the origin of a proposed law that seeks to remove the public seal from the Office of the Attorney General to the Office of the Head of Public Service. Appearing before a joint sitting of Justice and Security Committee, the Presidential Advisor and the National Administration Laws Amendment Bill, or rather said, I will take that again, that the advisor said the National Administrative Laws Amendment Bill had gone through the Office of the Attorney General, contrary to Muturi's claims. This is Public Service Commission opposed the transfer of the public seal from the AG's office.
National Assembly Committees on Security and Justice jointly invited President William Ruto's National Security Advisor, Monica Juma, and the Public Service Commission to ventilate on the National Administrative Laws Amendment Bill. Juma, while differing with Attorney General Justin Muturi, indicated the legislative proposal had gone through the AG's office as required by the law.
The Honorable Attorney General was here before us yesterday, and he said he has never seen this bill. Would you care to comment on that?
What is the source of this bill? Have you seen a policy paper on this bill?
I have with me a document, actually, which I was referencing, that was signed by the AG. That is what I'm referencing.
On Tuesday, while appearing before the Justice Committee, Attorney General Justin Muturi said he was not aware of the origin of the bill that was moved by Leader of Majority Kimani Ichung'wah. The bill seeks to, among others, establish the Office of Head of Public Service that will be the custodian of the public seal, among other functions. The Public Service Commission, while appearing before the same committees, opposed the proposal to transfer the public seal from the AG's office, saying it would abuse the doctrine of separation of powers.
But the public seal that is used to seal documents that are either between the government and other governments, or that are, really the government's issues, should be in the custody of the Attorney General, because the Attorney General is the chief legal advisor.
MPs read the Riot Act to the various government agencies for speaking at cross purposes regarding various government-sponsored bills.
A government must work like an orchestra, that the left hand and the right hand must know what the left or the right hand is doing.
And everything here is a whole lot of confusion. So why don't you put your own government in order and give us something that essentially is fully internalized, that has the support of the government of the day.
Despite the doublespeak by the National Executive regarding the source of the bill, the 2 joint committees will retreat to prepare a report that will be considered by the plenary. Gishoke Washira, Prime Edition, Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.
Incidentally, the man who speaks about government operating as an orchestra is our guest tonight, the Honorable Dido Urasu. And our question tonight is Parliament and appendage of the Executive. We have so much to discuss tonight. But I'm also informed by our reporter in Baringo, that is Chesire, that the 3 people who were arrested after the demonstrations in Kabarnet have actually been released this evening, and that means the 3 are free. We're taking a breather. We're coming back shortly.
Sisi ya kungoja kwenye star 570 hash kuna ploti na ni up to 1.1 million Kenyan shillings with a genuine title deed na inakungoja star 570 hash. Bukana zake.
Welcome to Sensei Institute, mahali skills zangu ni pesa mkononi. At Sensei College, practical skills is the definition. Accredited by the government and founded on a Christian background, Sensei College offers all-rounded programs that are tailor-made to enhance your skills and give you the future you desire. We offer courses such as interior design, fashion and design, hairdressing and beauty, hospitality courses, trailer driving and defensive driving, building construction technology, CCTV, solar and electrical installation, photography and video production, electronic courses, vehicle electronics and mechanic courses, agricultural mechanics, ICT, and many more. To enroll in any of our campuses in Nairobi and Nakuru, all you need is your national ID card. Mapema ndo best. Take advantage of our monthly intake. Come to kusort na skills. Sensei College, my skills, my future.
That belongs to your sister's husband.
In the past, a forbidden passion marred a family's life. A passion that thrills, fascinates.
I love you more.
Hurts.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Oh, all right.
Confuses.
I thought you're not going to come.
And breaks.
Why?
In the present, the seed of that passion repeats the story.
I'm marrying your sister on Saturday.
Nora, an envious, selfish woman who feels less than her sister Lucia, wants everything she has. Jealousy.
Just stop imagining things.
Deceit.
I don't need to have doubts about you.
Betrayal. Romance.
I love you more than my own life.
Passion that bores hatred, capable of inspiring revenge.
I don't even dislike him anymore.
And love that endures the test of time. The Color of Passion. Every Tuesday to Sunday at 8 p.m. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back and head back to Parliament. Our members of the National Assembly on Wednesday sustained their push for the release of the National Government Constituency Development Funds, saying Treasury is not being committed to its promises. The MPs who were reacting to Treasury's statement presented in Parliament on the delays expressed fear that the outstanding 47 billion shillings may not be disbursed before the end of the financial year.
Undertaking, Kenya shillings 10 billion was disbursed to the board in the month of January 2024 and has so far been disbursed to the constituencies. As confirmed that plans are underway to release 10 billion by the end of February.
Now, Honorable Sirma is coming here today, the 14th of February, still talking about the 10 billion that was released way back in January. Yet, they were only remaining with about 4.5 months to the end of the financial year. And NGCDF is not just about bursaries, you know that. It's about projects which have been planned for.
At a time like this last year, we heard about the highest constituency had received 14 million. This year, the lowest is 30 million. Honorable Speaker, those are facts. We have the records. If we go by that scale, then I would be wrong to say that by the time we close this financial year, just like it happened last year, that every constituency will have received the entire amount in their accounts.
This is affecting economic growth of the country, because if you don't give money to the grassroots for development, you are slowing general economic growth of the country. If you give money towards the end of the financial year, it has implications on budget absorption. The chairman should come out clearly and explain to this House what steps he's going to take to ensure that in the shortest time possible, all the disbursements are made to CDF accounts.
Kevin Adams Kinyanjui, the suspect in the alleged killing of a Kenyan woman in the United States of America, will cool his heels at the industrial area prison pending the hearing and determination of an extradition proceeding against him. Kinyanjui had escaped from custody but was traced and rearrested in Ngong.
A famous boxer once said, "You can run, but you can never hide." Kevin Adams Kinyanjui, wanted by the USA government, ran from Muthaiga police station last week, but was removed from his hideout 6 days later. Kinyanjui, who allegedly killed his girlfriend in Boston, USA, escaped from police cells last Wednesday and was arrested at 4 a.m. Wednesday at Ngong area of Kajiado County. Presenting him before Milimani Magistrate Lucas Onyina, the DPP office led by prosecuting counsel Vincent Monda said the suspect is a flight risk.
Any relative who would like to see the respondent must be accompanied by the investigating officer in this matter. Through Your Honor, in case he requires any medical attention, it should be done so in consultation with the government doctor assigned or attached to industrial area.
However, his lawyers objected to the application by the state to have their client remanded at industrial area medium prison.
It's a hybrid of relations between nations for arrest and remittance of persons or breach of his constitutional guarantees and rights, especially by the court.
Chief Magistrate Lucas Onyina, while granting the order sought by the state, said it will not be safe for Kinyanjui to be remanded in a police cell.
Any escape, as a matter of procedure, must be subject of investigation, and it would not be safe for the respondent to be remanded at a police station when part of those investigations may be police officers in whose custody the respondent was before he escaped as alleged.
The magistrate, however, declined to grant the orders to have only his counsel to visit him, saying he will be overstepping his mandate.
Persons Deprived of Liberty Act, Chapter 90, Part A of the laws of Kenya, particularly Part 2 thereof, which provide for rights of persons deprived of liberty and duties of persons in charge, and I have not seen any provision which allows this court to make the kind of orders sought by the prosecution.
The matter will be mentioned on 19 February 2024 to confirm the hearing of the extradition proceedings. Ruth Wamboy for Prime Edition.
And our Catholic faithful across the country marked Ash Wednesday, which symbolizes the beginning of 40 days of Lent. At the Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi, the Archbishop of Nairobi, Philip Anyolo, called on Christians to observe this period, which leads up to Easter, to strengthen their relationship with God through fasting, praying, and sharing with the less fortunate in society. This year's Ash Wednesday fell on Valentine's Day.
Wednesday afternoon at the Holy Family Basilica in Nairobi County. Such are the melodies that usher you into the Lenten season. Ash Wednesday is a day of repentance when Christians confess their sins and profess their devotion to God. It is also a reminder of human mortality and the need for reconciliation with God. During Mass, ashes are placed on worshippers' forehead in the shape of a cross. The Archbishop of Nairobi, Philip Anyolo, has called on Christians to use this period to get closer to God.
Let us give our bodies a rest from alcohol and from many other things that we are calling drugs everywhere. So let us give up anything that is toxic in our lives. Toxic kwa vyakula na vile toxic pia kwa maneno, kwa maongezi, kwa mawazo na kwa matendo pia.
It's a time that it makes us be close to God and kind of come and say sorry for our sins. And then we also say sorry for our families.
He also challenged the government to tighten the noose in the war against corruption.
Unapoongea kwamba imepigana ufisadi unazidi kuongezeka. unazidi kuongezeka. Na najaribu kupigana na ufisadi, sio kutoka tu kutoka juu, lakini pia tupigane na ufisadi hata kutoka chini, kwa sababu ufisadi pia uko kati yetu. Actually sio ya kwamba tunaongea sasa juu ya ufisadi kama jambo ambalo liko nje huko na mbali, bali sisi wenyewe maumbile yetu ni ufisadi.
At St. Anne and Joachim Catholic Church in Dumberi, Kiambu County, Catholic faithful were urged to use this period to pray, repent and share with the less fortunate in society.
We are calling upon our Christians all over the world and all over the country that we hearken to the voice of the Lord that is inviting us today to return to Him. Where we have gone astray, it is time to come back to the Lord. He is willing and ready to receive us back.
The same message was delivered to worshippers at St. Anne Muthure in Kikuyu, Kiambu County.
Bushwa ya kwamba maisha yetu hapa duniani ni mafupi, tena tunakubushwa kujinyenyekeza mbele zake Mwenyezi Mungu, tukijiona sisi ni wadhaifu, ni wanyonge, na yule tu ataweza kutuinua juu ni Mungu mwenyewe.
And at Our Lady Lourdes Catholic Church in Machakos County, Christian faithful were urged not to give up despite tough economic times.
Kuna ugumu wa kimaisha, lakini naamini ya kwamba viongozi wetu wakiangalia, kuna mambo ambayo tunaweza kuyafanya vizuri ili maisha ya mwananchi wa kawaida yawe mazuri.
Ikiwa uko na shida, tuseme wewe ni mwanarika ama ni binadamu ama ni mtu yeyote, tafadhalini nenda uone makasisi wetu, tuombe na tuhakikishe kwamba usinyamaze ukiwa na shida.
It is time we came down from our pedestals. This time we learn to be humble to serve people. It's time we stop thumping our chest and showing off our wealth and our power. It's time we walked where the poor walk.
As Catholic faithful mark the beginning of Lent, they have been called upon to use this period to pray, repent and help the needy in society. Nancy Okware reporting from Holy Family Basilica, Nairobi.
Shamba ni mbili, yako ni gani? Kwenye star 570 hash. Every 100 shillings unayotumia kwa Lucky Game inakupa 1 entry point ya kuingia kwenye drum ya draw, ambayo inakupa fursa ya kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi mbili. Mwisho wa April namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings na unapata title deed yako safi. Na mwisho wa Mei namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings, lori za mawe na mchanga. Ploti ndizo hizi. Dial star 570 hash. Title deed ndio hii. Vuka na shake.
The king in the land of
This February, precious moments with Channel One entail endless hours of warm sentiments.
I really love you.
Oh, Lord.
Joy.
Did you get the job, Letty?
Romance.
Oh, babe.
Affection. Passion.
Na hisia zinasobobojeka moyoni mwangu.
Family.
Who are those flowers for? Oh, I'm sure they're for Lucia.
Fulfillment.
Oh, this is so sweet.
That's Dad.
An array of programs specially selected for you to give you and your loved ones the cozy feeling of being at home.
Impressive. Baby, let me tell you.
The treat is on us.
Are you serious? Just give us a chance.
Make a date with KBC Channel 1 in the month of love for a heartwarming experience.
You will love it.
KBC Channel 1 continues to bring you the exciting Football Kenya Federation Premier League, with 2 matches being aired live each weekend. This Saturday, Kenya Police battles Shabana, while Posta Rangers will take on Ulinzi Stars. Watch this double-header from Police Circle Stadium, kicking off at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Good evening, and I hope that you've had a wonderful day. Happy Valentine.
My name is Weri Mujenga. Now, effective midnight, you will pay 1 shilling less for fuel. In its monthly review, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has announced that a litre of super petrol, diesel and kerosene will all reduce by 1 shilling. EPRA Director General Daniel Kipto indicates that the pump price for diesel has been cross-subsidized by super petrol, where that of kerosene has been fully subsidized by Petroleum Development Levy Kitty. The average landed cost for super petrol and kerosene reduced by 1.71%, while diesel was cheaper by 3.08%. In Nairobi, a litre of super petrol will retail at 206 shillings and 36 cents, diesel at 195 shillings and 47 cents, while kerosene costs 193 shillings and 23 cents. Now, the Cabinet has approved the sale of 6 more state-owned enterprises, bringing the total number of entities set to be privatized to 17. According to Cabinet dispatch from State House, Nairobi, the privatization state-owned hotels is expected to stimulate the expansion of the country's hospitality industry and grow the individual units through private sector investment.
The government's initial move was to privatize the 11 entities, among them the Kenya Literature Bureau, Kenyatta International Convention Center, the Kenya Seed Company, Kenya Pipeline Company, New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, and the National Oil Company of Kenya. And during a cabinet meeting held on Tuesday at State House, Nairobi, chaired by President William Ruto, the government sanctioned divestiture from 6 state-owned enterprises, namely Development Bank of Kenya, Golf Hotel, Cabernet Hotel, Kenya Safari Lodges and Hotels, Sunset Hotel, and Mount Elgon Lodge. The cabinet noted that this move aligns with the ongoing rebound of the tourism sector that has been buoyed by the visa-free entry regime in Kenya and promises to deliver increased employment and business opportunities, explained a cabinet dispatch. The cabinet also approved digitization of the entire education system to address the governance challenges that has led to parallel accounts, charging of unauthorized school fees, diversion of the exchequer releases on capitation, and other fraudulent activities such as enrollment of ghost students. The government also approved implementation of the Nairobi Intelligent Transport System, where technology would be employed for traffic management, eliminating human interfaces in traffic control, and streamlining the payment of penalties for traffic offences. Alan Oko, Prime Edition.
Now, coffee sales at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange this week realized a high of 1.2 billion shillings, pushed by record high prices and volumes. A dispatch from the Nairobi Coffee Exchange indicates that farmers earned 84,000 shillings per 50-kilo bag of premium coffee, which has been attributed to implementation of coffee reforms.
Coffee sales rallied during the 16th auction as farmers sold coffee worth 1.2 billion shillings during the weekly sale at the Nairobi Coffee Auction. 27,046 50 kg bags of coffee was traded at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, representing a 64% increase from last week's volume. 6,016 bags of the AA coffee, which is the highest grade, was offered at the auction at a price of $533 per 50-kilo bag, which is approximately 84,214 shillings. The volume that attracted a pricing of over $400 per 50-kilo bag increased by 7%, with farmers offering 17,522 bags of AA and AB grades for sale at the auction. The coffee sold at the auction was mainly from east of the Rift Valley counties of Kirinyaga, Nyeri, and Embu. Coffee from Key Factory in Kirinyaga County and the top prize, with farmers receiving over $500 per bag from the 268 bags they presented at the auction. According to the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, the volumes presented at the auction are expected to remain high as produce in Western and Central Kenya regions are at their peak season. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, the shilling further gained ground against the dollar on Wednesday, with the currency traders quoting the local unit at 152.63 per dollar during this night, or rather this evening. Now, trade, the shilling rather, being supported by dollar inflows from the issuance of a $1.5 billion Eurobond, which has seen the local unit gain 11 shillings over the past 1 week. For the past 9 days, the shilling has been on rally, literally extending gains against the US dollar. Currency traders this morning quoted the shilling at 153 shillings and 43 cents per dollar from a high of 165 against the greenback a week ago. The local unit has been supported by dollar inflows from the successful issuance of $1.5 billion Eurobond that will mature in the year 2031.
We are more optimistic that the economic landscape will continue to evolve more favorably, and signs are already evident that we are turning around. Investor sentiment has reversed remarkably.
A statement from the National Treasury Tuesday indicated that the latest Eurobond attracted a strong demand, with a high-quality order book exceeding $6 billion. The Kenyan shilling has also gained against East African currencies, rising against both the Tanzanian and Ugandan shilling. Weri Mujenga for Lunchtime News. We apologize for that hiccup. Now, consumers in Kenya will now be able to trace the origin of the products they order on e-commerce platforms to confirm their authenticity. This follows the launch of operations by Indian traceability company Next2 in Kenya. Now, the firm offers the software, and consumers can scan a product and receive information on the origin, authenticity, and quality.
Footwear, apparel and clothing constitute the highest proportion of seized counterfeit goods in the Kenyan market, followed by energy and electronic products. This is according to a report by the Anti-Counterfeit Authority of Kenya. However, the government is keen on taming the counterfeiting as it seeks to empower consumers and businesses. Called Next, India's traceability company in supply chains, has officially launched its operations in Kenya, with a promising vision to combat the proliferation of counterfeit products that have long plagued the country's markets.
What we want to do is to grow manufacturing, and we can only grow manufacturing in Kenya if we make it more efficient. When it gets more efficient, it will get cheaper. I know that some of these solutions cost money, but in the long term, because when you introduce efficiency, then you will be able to reduce your cost of production. Even from a government perspective, we are excited because then it will also make it easier for us to be able to trace, to make sure that products meet the quality.
With Kenya setting up a lot more investment on manufacturing, I think we're very excited to be here, to be a part of this journey, and to contribute as much as possible to providing solutions that can aid the Kenyan government to actually set up manufacturing, set up traceability processes, and to improve the economy out here.
Leveraging advanced technology and robust tracking systems, it is poised to empower consumers and businesses alike with the tools needed to verify the authenticity of goods throughout the supply chain.
This one is coming at the right time, because in this era, which is marked with unprecedented technological advancement, the importance of traceability cannot be overstated. The ability to track and trace the journey of products and goods throughout the supply chain is not a luxury, but a necessity in today's world.
So that begins to tell us that if our manufacturing industry were to adopt these tracing technologies, then we would be able to plug 20% of our GDP straight on.
Through a simple access real-time information about the origin, authenticity and quality of the products they purchase, and at the same time be able to trace the products they have ordered through the e-commerce platforms. Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
Well, that marks the end of business news tonight, but do not touch that dial. On the other end of the studio, we have Karen Kibet. How are you, Karen?
Hi, Carol. I'm doing great. How about you? Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine to you. Over to you now with the sports updates.
Thank you very much, Carol, for keeping us up to speed with the latest in the world of business. Let me now take it away and keep our viewers up to date with what's happening in the world of sports. Now, with less than a week before the start of the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket Qualifiers Tournament, the Kenya men's basketball national team's Moran have received a sponsorship boost of 200,000 Kenya shillings and 2 sets of kits from Eliud Owalo Foundation. The team is set to travel to Tunisia, where the tournament will begin on the 19th of this month.
Moran's under assistant coach Cliff Owar have a provisional list of 30 players who are expected to represent Kenya in the first window of the AfroBasket qualifiers in Tunisia. The first leg of the Continental Showpiece will take place from between the 19th to 27th of this month in Tunis, Tunisia. The Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, who was flanked by Kenya Basketball Federation officials, visited the Morans at their training ground at the Nyayo National Gymnasium in Nairobi. Owalo promised to give his unwavering support to the basketball team through the Eliud Owalo Foundation, which has been a frontier in supporting local talents.
Eliud Owalo Foundation is going to sponsor a national basketball tournament featuring the top 8 teams in the Premier League, in the KBF Premier League, which will be played here at Nyayo Stadium, among other venues within Nairobi.
The team is in its second week of training ahead of the qualifier showdown with Owar, expecting the final lot of foreign-based players to join the rest as they eye a second consecutive return to the Continental Showpiece.
Basketball played a fundamental role in making us what we are today, during our youthful days. So, depending on unfolding events from time to time, we will give back to the game by supporting our teams.
Kenya will battle Angola, Ivory Coast and Guinea in Group D for a place in the finals. Nora Mwangi for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Nora, for that report. Moving on, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has urged sportsmen and women to plan early for their retirement, which comes earlier than many other fields of employment. Pastor Dorcas said this while hosting the National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa, which will be competing at the Paris Olympic Games mid this year. The team also observed a minute of silence to honor the marathoner Kelvin Kiptum, who died in a road accident on Sunday night.
The retirement age of a sportsman or an athlete comes earlier compared to other professionals because of the competitive nature of the work that you do. You must therefore save as much as you can. You must learn to save from the money that you are making. You must invest enough, because when you cannot be accommodated in the teams that you used to go, now you can be able to fly everywhere. You can go to Uruguay, you can go to Paris, there is a time you'll not be able to do this. Regardless of what was happening, what is happening, even those are our children, and they are the ones we are trying to bring back so that we can realign them with their dreams and they can realize their visions. I appreciate that you have begun to rebrand and rebuild your reputation, and that you seek to be a force for positive change within our societies through your initiative, Keeping Rugby Clean.
The government says it will support world marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum's family in providing a fitting farewell for the late national hero. In a cabinet meeting chaired by President William Ruto at State House, the cabinet paid tribute to Kiptum, describing him as a sporting powerhouse whose record-shattering achievements inspired millions around the world. The meeting observed a minute of silence in honor of both Kiptum and his coach Gavis, who both died in a car accident on Sunday night. The cabinet also noted ongoing interventions by the Ministry of Sports to better project Kenya's sporting icons and urged all road users to uphold traffic laws and practice safe road use. Athletics Kenya has called off the national trials for the 13th edition of the Africa Games, which were set to be held this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium. The cancellation is in honor of the late marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum.
The National Athletics Trials will not be running this weekend as planned. The trials, which will be used to select a national team for the African Games in Accra, Ghana, was postponed in honor of the marathon record holder Kiptum and his coach who died last Sunday in a tragic road accident. Meanwhile, the Golazo company, which was working with the late Chicago Marathon and world record holder Kelvin Kiptum, will set up a foundation to take care of the athlete's two children. Mark Kosjens, a Belgium-based coach from the company who is in Kenya, has condoled with the family and plans on setting up a foundation to support the fallen heroes' offspring's well-being and education are in the pipeline. This move will keep Kiptum's dreams of building a house and having projects that will benefit his family alive. In light of the same, Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Wesley Rotich asked Kenyans to desist from speculating on Kiptum's death and wait for the investigations to be concluded. The late athlete's burials arrangements have begun and may be laid to rest on Saturday 24th this month at his homes in Chepsamo village in Keyo South. Faith Akinye for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Akinye, for that report. Former Tokyo Marathon champion Sarah Chepchirchir has been banned from all international athletics competition for 8 years after she was found to have violated anti-doping regulations for a second time. The Athletics Integrity Unit said Chepchirchir had tested positive for testosterone. The sample was collected at the Bangsaen 42 Chonburi Marathon in Thailand in November. The 39-year-old was previously banned for 4 years in 2019, backdated because the abnormalities in her athlete blood passport. The latest ban will be backdated to the 22nd of December last year, and Chepchirchir's competition results from 5th November onwards will be disqualified. And those are all the sports stories we had for you tonight. My name is Karen Kibet. Do not go too far because right after this short break, my colleague John Jacob Kioria will be back with an interview under the Extra Mile docket. Good night.
Haya, sisi ya kungoja kwenye star 570 hash kuna ploti na ni up to 1.1 million Kenyan shillings with a genuine title deed na inakungoja star 570 hash bukana zake.
The Honorable Dido Raso is the Member of Parliament for Saku, and by the way, a retired decorated army man, having retired at the rank of Colonel, and joins us in studio this evening to speak about the conversation around Parliament and whether it has been taken hostage by the executive. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year. Yeah. And coming to KBC studios after a long while.
Yes.
I'm actually impressed with what I'm seeing.
Yes.
It is a new year indeed for you.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the compliments. To dive right into our conversation, you've had allegations being made by the opposition leader particularly that the executive has finally captured Parliament is no longer independent. Is that true?
I think it cannot be true. This is a democratic state. And in 1648, there was the Treaty of Westphalia, where countries said, okay, let's go democracy. The rule of the law, the rule of the people, the leadership are subject to the people. In Kenya, there's separation of powers between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. And I know you know what is happening with the judiciary and the executive. To say they are separate is really not true. separate in terms of functions, but some functions are going to overlap and interlace, so that is what you call government. But when you say that, okay, when the legislature is fighting the executive, then the government is working, I think that person is not looking at the right picture. The right picture is the legislature must oversight the government, not necessarily taking the sort of party lines, but also at the same time, not to lose the sight of what is there in the global environment in Kenya. I know there is the issue of state capture, which we really got to learn a lot of it from the last government toward the dying days. Then we are told about the deep state. Then somebody said the system. When you look at Kenya, Kenya does not exist alone in the global arena. We learn a lot from the British, the Americans, how they run the affairs of their state. There are good things also they learn from us. And even in Kenya, many nationalities, but one nation. Because we people from the north, the people from central Kenya, from western, from the coast, we come from almost different cultures to the extent that it makes Kenya a melting pot. So for that reason, it is true that sometimes Parliament must bend over backwards to make sure that the state functions as per the agenda of that government within the time, within the existing constraints. I look at the President of the Republic, the Honorable William Ruto. I think if that man was a marathoner, he has run the longest mile, farther than Kipchoge, the two Kipchoges. So it's like that leader going out there to look for something for his nation. For Parliament, sometimes a new law is necessary. And the new issues are things like housing, health. I come from the north. I come from a constituency that is fairly, you can call, a rural constituency. Where today, if we are told that we can build for you 200 housing units, we will not call for even public participation. As the leader or the representative of those people, I'll say, we need it tomorrow. The issue of health. Health has become a very expensive domain for every Kenyan. With the changing lifestyle, with the emergence of new diseases, Kenya must invest in health. This government is saying, let us invest in health so that from the beginning, we are able to do prevention. Then before we get to curative, then we'll have done so much. Of the other time, the government was able to commission, I think, thousands of community health workers to go down to the rural, the household. Countries like Brazil have been able to succeed in health, Cuba, by having that sort of curative approach to the healthcare system. So when we say that, oh, you know, this government has captured parliament, it has captured the judiciary, I think what they are really looking at is continuous conflict between the three arms of government.
Let me ask you, Mheshimiwa, very quickly.
Yes.
In your own assessment,
Yes.
because you're a long-term member of parliament, and
Yes.
of course experienced in the
Ye-
House as a ranking member,
Yes.
do you think in the last 1 year and a half or so of your existence,
Yes.
the parliament has really demonstrated independence when it comes particularly with dealing with the executive?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
On the yes side, the parliament is there to make laws. There are times that laws are crafted and they arrive on the floor of parliament. It just takes a single legislature to stand up and say, hey, this law is faulty. Or there's some chickiness in this, that somebody is trying to change the constitution through the back door. So in terms of changing laws and regulations, Parliament has done its duty. But on the other side, that we sit in Parliament as almost two groups. The side that is the ruling party, and the other side is the opposition. You know, those who are from the ruling party, they will look at things slightly different. Because oversighting or checking government does not mean that the government must operate on a shoestring throughout. Sometimes you can say, if we pass this law, or if we pass this budget, things will improve at the end of the day. There was the issue of the finance bill, like in the last parliament. I think in the last session, both sides of the divide were able to see which are the gray areas, which are the areas that are likely to spark growth if we allow the government and tell them, okay, you move on this line, but don't cross it. So in my time in Parliament, we have also had some rough times when Parliament actually fights with the executive because you are not getting things done the way you want. But there are times you find that if the government does this, it is good for my people. So we have to be balanced as legislatures. It is not just we in Kenya. I think legislatures all over the world look at things from two perspectives. Is it good to check the government on this? Yes, if there are excesses, if they are trying to overreach. But there are also times across the divide, people say, oh, this is good for this country. So for me, I think Parliament is very careful. Sometimes you walk a tightrope because at times you must walk the party line.
It is good you talk about walking the tightrope because part of the debate that dominated the opening of Parliament for this session and today is actually acrimony over CDF.
Yes.
As a ranking member and a member of the ruling coalition.
Yes.
How are you going to navigate this debate?
You know, touching CDF, you touch every member of Parliament. CDF is not a sort of normal fund. I think it's about Kenya. It's about all the villages in Kenya, all the schools, basically everything that touches the nerve center of this country. And that is why the members of Parliament, I wish you will be one in the future, is where when you open your gates in the morning, everyone will troop in, carrying a bag, carrying a piece of paper, carrying a child, all of it about getting that young person back to school, or they are in the villages that they are reporting to you that I can't send my child to school. there are those who are saying, oh, you know, this money belongs to the members of parliament. They do whatever they want. The member of parliament, by the way, is just the patron of those funds. They are ex-officials. They don't sit in the meeting where they deliberate on how those monies will be used. What arrives on your desk is projects that the CDF committees have decided that in school X, we are building a classroom. In the school Y, the roof was blown off last time by wind. We are going to replace it. In school Y, we want to put up a borehole. So all those rafts of issues will arrive before the member of parliament, and in case he or she wants to make a change, he has to still talk to that committee to say that, I believe this and that is the priority. Sometimes hundreds of projects come before you, and as you discuss with your committee, you find that you don't have that money. And I said CDF funds are not just are not normal funds. When you traverse Kenya, all parts of Kenya, the first project you'll come across is a CDF project.
All right.
And that is why members of parliament, they are just not being petty. They are really serious about it. And when we tell the executive that it is not the game as usual, we are putting our demand on the table so that children will go to school, so that whatever facilities that are there for CBC, for books and all that, are available to the learners.
All right. All right. Very quickly, Mheshimiwa, because I'm told that we have about 2 minutes before we wind up. And it is important probably, so you tell us as a senior member, why are you changing? Why do you plan to change from the SACU member of parliament? What is in your plans? Very quickly.
I don't know how you picked up that, but in life, everybody must look ahead. And especially leaders must see beyond tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I really want to thank my people of SACU for having given me 3 terms as their member of parliament, who represented them very effectively. And I think to an extent, for me as a former military officer, I find very thin line between being a member of parliament and an army officer. Both is a calling.
Okay.
It is not really a job. So you really want to extend the frontiers of services and support to your people. So I am a potential governor for Marsabit.
All right. That's a quite interesting, and of course we wish you all the very best.
Thank
but
you
of course
so
you have
much.
another 4 years, obviously, to deliver
Indeed.
to the people of SACU. The Honorable Dido Raso speaking to us tonight as regards Parliament and its relationship with the executive. Of course, these are some of the claims that have been coming from the opposition side, but Mheshimiwa Dido Raso says it is a symbiotic relationship between the executive and Parliament, and both of them must coexist peacefully. This is where we put a cap on Prime Edition. Thank you very much for joining us. God bless you. Good night, and thank you, Mheshimiwa, for joining us. Asante sana.
ni mbili. Yako ni gani? Kwenye star 570 hash. Every 100 shillings unayotumia kwa Lucky Game inakupa 1 entry point ya kuingia kwenye drum ya draw ambayo inakupa fursa ya kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi mbili. Mwisho wa April namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings na unapata title deed yako safi. Na mwisho wa Mei namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings, lori za mawe na mchanga. Ploti ndizo hizi. Dial star 570 hash. Title deed ndio hii. Fuka na shake.
Ili kupata mtoa baraka kama Skiza Tune yako, bonyeza star 812 star 503 hash.
Wewe, ni kwa nini unafurahia vipaji ili asiye anayetoa? Kwa nini unapenda baraka, humpendi mtoa baraka? Nauliza, ni kwa nini unapenda mchuzi wa papa ila papa mwenyewe humtaki? Ni busara kutambua kuwa ukimpata mtoa baraka.
Kupata mtoa baraka kama Skiza Tune, bonyeza star 812 star 503 hash. Star 812 star 503 hash. The king in the land of
This February, precious moments with Channel One entail endless hours of warm sentiments.
I really love you.
Oh Lord.
Joy.
Did you get the job, lady?
Romance.
Oh babe.
Affection. Passion.
Na hisia zinazobubujika moyoni mwangu.
Family.
Who are those flowers for? Oh, I'm sure they're for Lucia.
Fulfillment.
This is so sweet.
That's Dad.
An array of programs specially selected for you to give you and your loved ones the cozy feeling of being at home.
Impressive.
Baby, let me tell you.
The treat is on us.
Are you serious?
Just give us a chance.
Make a date with KBC Channel 1 in the month of love for a heartwarming experience.
You will love it.
Na alipoingia darasani, wanafunzi wenzake walimsimanga huku wakimcheka kana kwamba hawangecheka kesho.
Watoto ambao wana wazazi wanaotumia dawa za kulevya na walio katika hali mahututi hospitalini hawawezi kuwategemea wazazi wao kupata ushauri.
Mfalme anapotembea anakutana na binti mrembo mtoto show, ngozi laini kama samli ya mbuzi. Anashangaa.
Lakini kwa sasa mtazamaji, baada ya kusoma sana
baby to spend it, passion mafupi no daddy that uko nishike uko
Cheza loto, shinda pesa moto.
Yes, we all set and ready for the final. Ikiwa ni Ivory Coast na Nigeria. Papa hapa KBC. Karibu kwenye show yako ya kipekee ambayo inakupatia fursa ya kujishindia up to 2 million Kenyan shillings kwa namna rahisi. Kumbuka pia tuko na ploti zako 2, shamba na lori za mawe na mchanga. Hii ni moto na ni loto moto. Unangoja nini? Star 570 hash. Nataka tujue hawa ni kina nani, si ndio? My brother.
Yes.
Umetengeneza hapo. Mluya. Majina nani?
Kwa majina tu Dennis Simiyu Wanyama.
Yes. Kutoka maeneo gani?
Kwetu kwa Nyoni Trans Nzoia.
Umekuwa kucheza loto moto?
Nimekuwa nikicheza loto moto. Kuna wakati nilikuwa niko gerezani, nilikuwa naona tu game ikichezwa mahali, but sikuwa najua vile game inachezwa.
Loto moto inafika mpaka kwa jela?
Inachezwa kwa TV, mtu anaona kwa gereza.
So ulianza ukiwa ndani au ukiwa nje?
Nilianza kuona ikiwa huko.
Nyinyi ndio mlikuwa mnatumia hizi SMS hizi?
Hapana, nilikuwa nimeokoka.
Na sasa hizi?
Sasa hata leo nimeokoka.
So umetoka ukaanza kucheza loto moto?
Nimetoka nikaanza kucheza loto moto. Manake nimetoka nikakaa nje Ona sina kazi. Changamoto imekuwa mingi kwangu.
Okay.
Lakini tunaona watu kwa TV watu wanashinda na hii game ni kitu watu wanacheza hata mimi naweza cheza. So nikakuwa sina simu. Simu najaribu kuomba nachukua ya wife. Namwambia si uniweke tu line yangu at least niko on hata sasa nimeonekana. So namwambia nisaidie na 50 kama uko nayo naweka kwa simu. Nikaangalia namba kwa TV na mimi nafinya hiyo namba. Siku moja nikafinya, tulikuwa tumekaa na yeye tu chini. Sina kitu. Na alikuwa hata mnyana do kwa nyumba manake hakuwa ameenda kazi na kazi anafanya ni nduma. Nikachukua 50 bob nikacheza namba, kucheza namba nikakula 200. Akafikiria ni mchezo, akachukua simu akaangalia nikamwambia hebu confirm hiyo message inasema nini. Akaangalia message akaona nimekula 200. Akasema hiyo mchezo ni kweli. Nikamwambia basi kama inacheza kweli hivyo wacha niende nayo paka mwisho. Leo nimefika hapa. Na leo niko na nini kwa hiyo meza?
Na umekujia nini?
Na nimekujia kuchukua manzi hata kama ndachukua 100 ama pikipiki, manzi itaniweka tu mbele, nirudi tu nafasi yangu.
Pikipiki unajua kuendesha?
Pikipiki najua kuendesha.
Umeshafanya kazi kabla ya pikipiki?
Nilikuwa na pikipiki, nilikuwa nikiuza maud, mtumba. So nilikuwa naekelea mtumba kwa bike. Naenda kila kasoko, kila katown, wakati wa soko naweka pale, nauza, namaliza, narudi kwa nyumba. Paka ile siku nakuja nikashikwa somo mambo yangu yote ikapotea, hata bike nikakuja nikakosa hakuna. Hadi wa leo nyumba naishi. Niko tunapanga tu maisha yangu venye iko.
Daniel, you are in the right place. Dadangu.
Ndio.
Majina nani?
Miru Wanjiko.
Umekujia nini?
Mimi nimekujia pesa. Karau nione kama naweza kujiwekea biashara yangu, nipumzike hii maji.
Uko in the right place. My brother. Wacha wewe kuwekelea uzito. Jina nani?
Thomas Mutuko.
Thomas mwenyewe?
Yeah.
Kutoka maeneo gani?
Anatoka Machakos Mchituni.
Mchituni?
Yeah.
Umekujia nini wewe?
Si hadi mimi nakujia pesa.
Kwa mara ya kwanza naweka dawa ya minyoo hapa ndani. Tunauweza nje na tunauweza ndani. Nimeweka mara 2.5. 250,000 Kenyan shillings hapa ndani. Msema kweli? Fungua kati. Harriet, kazi yako ni rahisi. Nice. Daniel, Maria na Thomas, nani anahisi kwamba anaweza fika hapa wa kwanza? Harriet, kama hawataki wewe ndio utachagua. Kama hawata
fika wa kwanza.
Kwa nini umeona ukuje wa kwanza hapa? Unaona ni kama wataichukua, si ndio?
Wataibeba mbele, si ndio?
Danieli.
Huyo.
Umeshika shilingi 250.
Jawahi shika kwa.
Hiyo ndio kitu unataka ama unataka tu pikipiki?
Nataka hiyo.
Sina pikipiki, lakini iko hapa. Nyosha mkono wako. Danieli.
Yes.
In 3.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
1. Naendea sanduku yako kabla Tomaso na Maria waikujie. Ni gani unachukua?